Okay, today I have 5 books that are going to help you calm down your mind. And these aren't books that are purely on meditation. It's more so about the mindset of these things. It's more so about the ideas of these things because to most people, slowing down your mind seems like the worst possible thing. Like we're forced all day long to be action, action, action. We all have to do this amount of work. We have this, and then we finish this, then it's something else. But the truth is, like, when you overwhelm your mind, you can't give your best effort. And it's only when you calm yourself down and focus on the task at hand that you can really begin to actually do something. When you can really begin to, knock problems out. Have you ever been working on a project and for whatever reason, you go for a walk, you take a break for 10 minutes, and then you come back to it and it just clicks? This is what I'm talking about. Calming down your mind for the sake of getting rid of the clutter, getting rid of the excess, getting rid of the things that take you away from who you really are, take you away from your actual responsibilities. And I think this is one of the greatest skills that you can begin to start growing. And it's not just simple meditation, because meditation's great, but the moment you get out of meditation, you're back into the normal life. You're back into normal things. And hopefully these books will give you great reminders, and they will give you a great spiritual experience as you begin to practice these skills. So without further ado, let me get into the first one. This is Intelligence by Osho. I could literally have picked any book by Osho because Osho's entire idea is calming down the mind and getting past ego, getting past the creations of this world. But the reason I chose this book, Intelligence, is because I think it particularly hits at what I want to hit at. It hits at the idea of when there's nothing, when there's no force, when there's no sort of urgency, that's where you get your best ideas. Because I think that's the greatest part about meditation, that's the greatest part about mindfulness practices, is that when you retract yourself from all the stimulus around you and then you return, you have exactly what you need to do. You have exactly the ideas, the approach, whatever it is that's in front of you, you can now face it, and you can now face it without the stress of everything else around you. Think about all of the things that you have to do. Think about all of the tasks around you. Is it much easier for you to knock them out one at a time, or is it easier for you to think about them at all times and have them worry you, stress you out, and have them weigh on you when you're trying to do something else? The truth is, we can only do one thing at a time, and we can only put our energy and effort to so much. And it's the idea of this, it's the idea of blocking everything out that isn't directly in front of you. And I think this book does it so well. It talks about the ideas of intuition. It talks about the intelligence that comes from pure presence, the intelligence that comes when you're only fixating on the moment. And it's one of the most inspiring books that you'll ever read, because half the book he's talking about Einstein. It's so cool to see a mystic approach Einstein, because we've all heard how great Einstein's mind was. We've all heard the great discoveries he's made, the impact he's made, how smart he was. But the truth is, Einstein attributes most of his discoveries to pure intuition. And when you understand that, then you understand that you probably want to start working on this faculty. You probably want to understand this force, understand the creativity that we all have inside of us. And I think this book is really good at teaching you the mindset needed to begin embracing this concept, begin embracing this idea. The next one I want you to pick up is The Four Agreements. I recently just suggested this book, and this book is probably half the reason why I'm making this video. And what I think this book does well is it reframes things. It teaches you the problems that you're dealing with really aren't the problems that you're dealing with. It's usually something deeper. One of the agreements is never take anything personally, and this is the idea that everyone is dealing with their own nonsense, and this nonsense is weighing them down and making them take it out on you. It's not right that someone takes out what they're going through on you, but you can understand it, and you're sympathetic, and you can turn this darkness into good. You can turn this person's disrespect, this person's anger towards you, and turn it into understanding. When someone's having a hard day and they say something they shouldn't, don't get angry and yell back at them. Say, "You having a bad day? Is everything okay, man? Like, do you need a hug? Do you need me to do something? Like, I know I won't take this personally this time. Like, I get what you're going through. I know I've seen it weighing on you." Like, little things like that are just great ways for us to overcome our mind, because the truth is there's a difference between ourselves and our mind. Our thoughts are not always correct. They are what we perceive to be correct, but the truth is that the things that we're told, the things that pop into our head, is merely an observation. It's merely a tool. It's merely this amount of things happen up into our lives, so we're predicting that this is going to happen. And the truth is, when you can calm down these thoughts and control them and put them into new reframed ways that aren't negative, then you're really going to go into this world and make the world a better place. I like to come back to the quote all the time that Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." If you want the world to be a better place, you must first be able to reframe the things in your life so that they are not so detrimental, so they are not so limiting to you. And I really think this is a great book to read, and I think absolutely everybody that reads it will get something from it. The next book I am suggesting that you pick up to overcome your mind, to overcome your thoughts, to overcome the things that are holding you back is the Tao Te Ching. This is a book that I really think you're not going to get on the first reading. It's only about 40 pages long, and this is a book that is purely philosophical, purely allegorical, purely poetry, and it's something that if you grasp a little straw of it, you have a deep insight, but getting to that point is very, very difficult. And I will caution you that you probably want to read some Eastern philosophy, some Eastern ideologies, whether it's Osho, whether it's Alan Watts, something more introductory before you read this book, because the ideas are very counter. But the ideas in this book are so profound that I see myself finding them time and time again in some of the greatest thinkers. And the idea in particular that I want you to think about is the idea of Wu Wei, the idea of non-action, the idea of no work. And there's different translations, there's different ways to interpret it, but the way I interpret Wu Wei is inspired action. And think about it this way. We all have things in our lives that we can do that don't feel like work. And why does it not feel like work? It's because you're completely present. It's because it makes you hyper-fixate on the idea that's at hand. Think about why people go thrill-seeking. Think about why people jump out of airplanes. It's not because it does anything aside from the fact that they have to hyper-fixate on the moment, and the threat of death makes them become extremely present and extremely focused. And if you can find something to do with this energy, if you can find something to do that makes you fixate on the task at hand like this in your daily life, you're going to be successful. You're going to have whatever you want. You're going to love your life, because I feel like most of the things people talk about is purely for material gain. But I mean, the truth about it is when you love what you do, you'd never work. When you enjoy the hard things that you do day after day after day, it's rewarding, it's recharging. I'm filming a video right now, I'm 8 minutes into it. Am I tired? No, I feel like I have more energy than when I started, and that's the idea of it. It's doing things that recharge you, that should make you tired, that should make you lose energy. That's when you know it's present. That's when you know you're doing inspired action. That's when you know that you're overcoming your mind, because right now I don't know the next word that's going to come out of my mouth, but I know it's going to be a good one. I know it's going to be something inspiring. I know it's going to be something uplifting. And when you can get to that state, when you can master that state, it's the most rewarding thing that you can find. The next one is Alan Watts' Tao, The Watercourse Way. Literally anything by Alan Watts will help you. I just think this is his best book. It's a hybrid of him talking about his studies of Chinese, his studies of calligraphy. He also talks about obviously studying the Tao Te Ching, and I think this book is a really good way as a Westerner to understand Eastern ideas, because many ideas that you stumble across in Eastern ideology won't make sense, because we've been told we have to work at all times of the day. We've been told urgency, urgency, urgency. Once you do this, then this, then this, then this, then this. You always must be moving. You must be doing this. You must be doing that. Whereas I feel like the old Eastern ideology schools are like more relaxed, more quote unquote lazy. They understand that action always isn't a good thing, because if you're always working at all times of the day, that means you're draining your battery. And if your battery is drained, then that means when something big comes up, then you can't give it your best effort. And I really think Alan Watts is a great bridge between these ideas and a Western mindset, because until I started reading Alan Watts, until I started listening to his lectures, until I started reading Osho and listening to Osho speak, I really couldn't understand these concepts, because it was just so different from anything I'd ever understood, so different from anything I've ever studied. The last book I really think you should pick up is The Power of Now. This book, to sum it up, is the only thing that matters is now. If you focus on the now, then nothing else matters. then nothing else bothers you. The more you fix on this very moment, the less you have to worry about all of your other problems. Because think about it, your problems will rear its head when it's time. But the more you focus on it, the more you think about it, the more you build it up in your head, the worse it becomes. I think this is Seneca's greatest idea. We suffer more in our own minds than we do in reality. And this idea is to say that, like, the more we think about things, the more we build them up, the worse they become, the bigger these issues are. But for the most part, our problems aren't with us right now. They might be with you a month down the line. They might be with you later on. They might be with you tomorrow. Like, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but if you focus on it, the more you worry about it, the worse it becomes. Have you ever had an assignment the next day? Have you ever had a presentation the next day? Have you ever had an interview the next day and you couldn't go to sleep? That's the exact worst thing you could do. You must focus on falling asleep. You must focus on being pleasant and going to bed and being happy. Because if you go to bed happy, guess what? You're going to wake up with the energy to knock it out of the park tomorrow. But if you worry about what you're going to say, if you're worrying about the preparation and all of these things while you're in bed, you're just ruining your own life. And that's what we all actively do with most of our thoughts, with most of the bulk of our day is spent worrying. The truth is, if you focus on this very moment, all you can do is what you can do right now. And if you just start putting in the work to whatever problem that you're dealing with, whatever problem that's in front of you right now, and don't worry about anything else, don't worry about anything else down the line, what's bothering you? What's stressful? What's scary? What gives you anxiety about this moment? And that is one of the best ideas I've ever stumbled upon. I think this is something that you can understand throughout all of these works. Throughout all of these works, they talk about the idea of presence, the idea of being in the moment. But I think devoting an entire book to it is the best way to do it, because I don't necessarily know if you would pick up on how important it is, but these are 5 books that are really going to help you overcome your mind, overcome what you think is you, and really start to learn the depths of your soul, really start to learn who you truly are and what you really want out of life. And I think these are things that if you really start studying, you find a whole new side of things. You find a whole new alley and a whole new avenue to explore. And these are ideas that I've only been exposed to for about a year, and like, I'm never looking back. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. I'll catch you in the next one.